tip number 12, it's already day 12. Isang dosena na tayo from December. We are already on our 12th day of our Health Gain December. And for today, ano yung tip natin? It's just simple. And I think marami yung masisiyahan dito. No forced exercise. Yes, hindi po kailangang pwersahin yung exercise. And don't worry, for those naman na nag-exercise na, hindi rin po kayo pipigilan. You can actually benefit more from exercise. However, kung hindi pa kayo sanay, kung kayo ay nagsisimula pa lang at hindi pa talaga regularly nag-exercise and you want to improve your health, you might want to put it on hold. Hindi kailangan mag-gym ka agad o di kaya mag-weights ka agad. It's important for you to adjust first. Ibig sabihin, when we start this way of life of low-carb nutrition and fasting, yung exercise wala sa title. It's because pwede siyang makahintay. And also, contrary to common knowledge na kailangan exercise agad kapag nagpapayat o di kaya kailangan i-improve yung health. But sa totoo lang, exercise is best done kapag yung katawan nyo ay sanay na, especially sa pag-shift sa new source of energy. If you are exercising before for the longest time na glucose lang yung ginagamit niyo, of course, you can just continue. Pero if you want to improve your health because you want to try kung paano ba mag-fuel, not just dependent on glucose, but gagamit ng ketones, yung alternative energy natin, which is actually more sustainable, and this kind of energy is yun yung link for long-term use. Kasi by biochemistry, even in high school textbooks na hindi natin na-prioritize o hindi natin na-emphasize noon, carbohydrates and glucose is just destined or para siyang designed into short-term use lamang. But for long-term energy use, it is actually the fats. Yun talaga yung nakasanayan ng katawan natin. Kaya lang, we've been bombarded with this knowledge, this brainwashing, or yung nakasanayan na natin, kinalakihan nating way of eating, that is eating rice 3 times a day, kumakain tayo ng pandesal, ng tinapay, ng crackers, ng sandwiches, in between meals, every 2 to 3 hours, parati tayong kumakain. And that is why tayong lahat somewhat dependent na sa glucose. Kasi kapag dependent ka sa glucose as your only source of energy, every 2 to 3 hours, gugutumin ka. That's why, parang imposible na hindi ka kakain less than 3 times a day. And how much more when you are exercising. So for those na gustong magpapayat o di kaya gusto i-improve yung health or gusto magpa-muscles yet gustong simulan yung low-carb lifestyle, pwede po na unahin nyo munang maging fat adapted. Ibig sabihin, you make your body get used to fats or ketones as a source of energy. So how can you do it? You can start with just eating low-carb meals for 2 to 3 weeks until masana yung katawan ninyo sa ganitong way of eating. When you are doing low-carb nutrition, hindi nyo kailangan nag-fasting sa simula. So, no need for exercise. Also, no need for forced fasting. Just start with your low-carb meals and eventually, yung iba na kailangan ng 2 weeks lang on average, but for others, it might take 3, 4 weeks. But for some naman who are very well-adjusted, yung mga madaling nakaka-adapt, as little as 3 days is nagiging fat adapted na sila. And then once you already are fat adapted somewhat, one of the signs nun is appetite correction. Yung bang hindi ka na mayat maya nagugutom, and also you no longer have so much craving sa iyong pagkain. You are now appetite corrected, wherein kapag kumakain ka, these are just during those times na ikaw talaga ay nutritionally hungry na. Not just kumukulo yung tiyan mo o meron ka ng nag-gurgling sounds na ang iyong katawan, you can already think that you already need to eat. But sometimes, you really don't need to eat. Okay? So, I hope you are going to start this way of life kahit slowly lang. We are still 13 days before Christmas. And of course, kayang-kaya yan. And this today, our tip would be no forced exercise. Pero just move. Galaw-galaw ka lang. Hindi mo kailangang pwersahin mag-exercise. But also, hindi rin itong excuse para hindi ka gumalaw. So one tip would be just as what we posted a while ago. So, kailangan lang you just move. For example, kung pupunta ka sa mall, kung merong stairs dyan, you can use the stairs. Or sa inyong bahay, kung kukuha ka ng tubig, instead of mag-uutos ka pa, ikaw na lang yung tumayo and kumuha nito. If you are going to somewhere or you are parking, wag na kayong maghanap ng parking area na pinakamalapit. You can actually benefit from choosing a parking lot, a parking area na medyo malayo. That way, you are somewhat encouraging yourself to move more. So those little habits, okay na yan. And those little habits can already sum up. Kasi yung mobility natin, hindi man talaga tayo mahilig mag-exercise by nature because yung tao talaga by nature is tamad. Kung gumagalaw man ito before for hunting and gathering, foraging, yun ay because we have no choice but to move kasi or else mamamatay tayo sa gutom. But now with our modern day life, hindi na tayo nag-hunting. So wala na tayong forced exercise or forced mobility. Just that is why we can benefit from consciously incorporating movement sa ating pang-araw-araw. And what is good, even if you are not forcing yourself to exercise now, the moment you are already fat adapted, you will realize that you will have a lot of energy. So nasa sa inyo how you will spend those energy. I hope you get to choose good kinds of activities. As for me, it's mostly mental work yung mga ginagawa natin. And for those naman, kaya nga tayo nakagawa ng libro and why we do what we do. But for you, my doggy. But for you who are capable of doing some physical activity, then doing some exercise is actually also good. However, kung hindi pa yon sanay, it's not yet in your system, wag din itong pwersahin. And for those naman na nagbabike na, nagra-run na, and are also going to the gym regularly, and wants to try to have a life without rice, yun yung pangalan ng group natin that is advocating low carb nutrition, then you can just continue on or you can observe yourself. Pasanayin muna yung inyong katawan with low carb nutrition. Kasi yung nangyayari, if you exercise, gusto mo lahat-lahat, low carb ka, nag-fasting ka, at nag-exercise ka, pwedeng maging hindi sustainable yung inyong progress because you are putting too much stress sa katawan mo all at once. Of course, magkakaiba pa rin yan depending on your personality, depende sa kung how you are going to do it. But generally, on average, one at a time. And start with low carb nutrition, and then once you are already fat adapted, naturally, ikaw na mismo magpa-fast. Hindi ka na mayat maya gugutumin. And when you eat, I hope you stay with our circadian rhythm, yung pagkain ng morning or daytime, and your last meal before sundown. And lastly, once you are already fat adapted and you are already okay with your fasting schedule, that's the time that you can incorporate some exercise. Starts with just 5 minutes and then move on to 10 minutes and then move on to 15 minutes and up to 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week. Yun lang, sapat na yun. Meron ka pa kayong 2 days na break. But of course, if you wish to have like muscle bulking activities, yung pagpapalaki talaga ng katawan, that's also a different story and might need a specific trainer para sa targeting specific muscle groups. But in overall health gain December, just mobilities, just start with moving. And if you are familiar with me, like if we ever travel together, you will see me walking down the stairs in airports and in many other places. I don't usually use the escalator. Aside from, it's always the one na sobrang dami ng gumagamit and also they're already very close to each other. So I usually use the stairs, just like where I just went. I just came from my Davao trip. Now, nandyan pa yung bagahe ko, nandyan na silang lahat. And I'm here currently waiting for my brother and sister for us to meet. And habang naghihintay, it's still 10 o'clock, early pa. So, although I finished my dinner earlier last night, around 6 o'clock, but hindi pa ako sanay kumain before lunchtime. So, kape lang muna. So, this is nitrogen cold brew. So, no sugar, no cream. So, ano yung cold brew? Yung cold brew is just a coffee na instead of hot water, this was brewed in cold water. And it will take like 24 hours para lumabas talaga yung kanyang flavor. So generally, it's less acidic, mas stronger yung caffeine, but less bitter. Parang smoother yung texture. And ini-infuse ito ng nitrogen para lang bumula. Wala naman actually talagang masyadong purpose, but it will just give you that happiness na parang hindi lang boring coffee yung ginawa nyo. And again, this is not essential. Maganda lang siya. So, in here, and also, what we can have is kombucha. So, this is just for probiotics and also, mainly, gusto ko lang yung lasa. Mahilig kasi ako sa maasim or fermented stuff. But generally, hindi rin siya essential. So, wag kayong magpapapressure dyan. Kung wala dyan, it's okay. Kung meron man, okay lang din. So, that's our tip for day 12 of 31 of Health Gain December with yours truly, Dr. Josephine Grace Chua Rojo. And if you wish to know more, if you wish to be guided, meron po tayong LCF Masterclass for specific diseases, and our 21st day kakatapos lang or matatapos ngayon is our LCF Masterclass for allergy, inflammation, infection, and autoimmune disease. I hope to see you all in the coming months or years or later in our meet and greet here in Makati, meet and greet Manila, and also tomorrow in Iloilo. If ever gusto nyo pang humabol, we have our admin Angela 0917 993-1239 if you wish to ask for the details. Maraming salamat everybody. No need to force yourself to exercise, but also don't be a couch potato. Don't be a potato and just move. Gumalaw lang whenever you can. Remember, when you eat, to stay low carb so that you all stay safe. Have a good day. Have a good Sunday, everyone.